Okay, hello my good people. So we have our users and user authentication. So now we can attach those users to whatever models we build, at least in my finances app. So let's go to models first. And in models, we can go through income, outcome, and balance and add a user. And I like to keep user at the very top of the list. So, but first we need to add user from the auth library. So Django.contrib.auth.models import user. Okay, and in here we want to add another field which will be models.foreign key to user, and we have to specify on delete models.cascade. We also want to have a related name that when we relate to those incomes, we want to say, hey, this user, give me all of your incomes. So in here we call it incomes. Okay, and incomes plural because one user can have multiple incomes. Okay, and I want to do the same for the outcome. So pretty much I can just copy this and change the related name here, and that should be, and if I left it incomes, then we would get an error because Django would realize that user has two models that are referenced as income, so it has to be different for each. So if it's user model, it can only have one incomes related name. I mean, any model, it's users in this case, but any model can have only one related name, unique related name. Okay, balance, the same story. So we're gonna just paste it here and change it to balances. I suppose you can have two balances for each user. So there is one current and savings. Cool. So that should be enough. We added this comment here, so we might as well add it to outcome just in case we want to add a comment to an outcome too. Cool. Okay, so let's go here to the terminal and go Python manage py make migrations, and it's asking me, yes, I need to provide one of default for the user. So because I didn't say what's the default, so I'm gonna go with number one, option one, and ID one should be my admin user. That's the ID one user. And then for another user, so again the same story, and then another user and one. Okay, cool. So now that we have it done, we can go to our views and change some stuff that we spoke about before when we were building those views, where the query set should be something that restricts the user to see only content that is assigned to those users. So each session is assigned to a specific user. When you log in, you are the user of that session, and then you want to only see your own items. You don't want to see any others, and you shouldn't for security as well. So let's do that. Let's go and change this query set, and I'm gonna use get, so def get query set. What I want to do is I want to get the user. So user is self.request.user, and then what we want to return is income.objects.filter, where user is user. Okay, it is an object, but if we say user is user, then it knows that it's supposed to look for the ID. If we wanted to do like user ID, you can do that, you can do this, but since it's an object, then we can just take an object. Okay, so that way we should see what we are supposed to see. And I forgot about migrating the changes, so let's go and do Python. I'll just go one up, and instead of make migrations, we want to migrate. Okay, and now it's done. Okay, so now that we have our get query set and we did our migrations, let's go to create view. We want to just change one thing there. So before we save the form, so basically in form valid, okay, so that's where we kind of say, okay, if it's valid, go ahead and save the form. We want to do something before that. So first what we have to do is we have to kind of get the instance. So we want to save that as self object. And we go ahead and do form.save, and we don't want to commit. So commit needs to be false. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and change self-object.user to be self.request.user. And then we want to self-object.save. Okay, so that object will be saved, and then we need to return. We need to import it first. So from Django.http import HTTP response redirect. That's what we want to use, and then HTTP response redirect to self get success URL, okay, which is in here. So basically jumps in here. What we do is we basically kind of use form.save. So if we go to forms, you will see here that we only use it without the commit set to true. So we save it ourselves in the create view, but it's done. So now let's go to our website, log in. So I'm going to log in as Marek. And go to my finances, and if you check the list income, it's still nothing is in there because we logged in as Marek. So whatever we put in there before, it was on admin, and let's say repetition time 1, and submit. So we have this first income in here, and let's add maybe another one, 555, and then type salary and submit, and there you go. So we have 2 incomes. Let's log out. And first of all, you don't see the app without being logged in. So let's register as somebody else. So let's go ahead and put in my dog's name. Laila Kubiak, laila@gmail.com. And then the password will be something simple. Something simple here. And we are registered. So let's log in as Laila. Log in, and so if I go to income list, again the incomes are not there because we only see the incomes that we are supposed to see through this one change in here. So get query set, we only retrieve the income that is assigned to us. So let's add some income here. So let's maybe do like 890, that's a bonus, submit. And we can see that ID 41, May 31st, bonus, that's the number here. And so if we log out and try to see it from Marek's perspective and go to list income, it's not there. We have 39 and 40, the ones that we put in. Great, so that's the stuff that we want to see in here. We're gonna do exactly the same job for all of those guys. I mean income, outcome, and balance. What we need to do is we kind of, to make sure that we stick to whatever is our income, outcome, and so on, we might want to add that to all of the different views. Because if as I'm logged in as Marek and I open detail 40, if I go to 41, I can still see what's going on in somebody else's incomes. So that's not, we shouldn't be able to do that. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to copy this and paste it in every single view set. So we have every single view. So we have list view, that's done. Now detail view, if I add that there and try to see the difference and refresh now, I get a 404. Which, by the way, we can make it a little bit nicer, but for now we leave it because we want a debugger to tell us what's going on. It's a Django debugger. Okay, the same with create, I suppose. Now create doesn't need that. Update needs that. So again, if I go and try to update 40, I can update 40 because I'm Marek and one of my items is 40, but I can update 41, which is not mine, which is a huge no-no. So let's add that there so we can see that the query set should not allow me to make any differences there, make any changes there, and there you go. And delete. So if I go and try to add that here, yep, so just refresh. Cool. Let's go back. Let's go to my income here. So I'm going to try to delete that income. And if I try to delete income 41, it says no, you can't, because it's not one of your incomes. Cool. So now this needs to be done for outcomes as well. So let me just smack it very quick. I'm going to just copy the whole lot. And I know copying is not great, but in this case, we kind of want to keep them. So we need to have those classes for each model. So I'm going to make it very, very easy. Just change this. So let me see if I have the model here. So it's going to be outcome and balance. So I'll need those. I'll have OutcomeForm here in the future. I'll just make that in a second. And let me just go down. And as you can see, PyCharm is nice enough to tell me that I'm making a mistake here because this is a duplicated name. So I need to change this to outcome. And maybe I'll just copy this and just paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here, and paste it here. So all of those views need to have its own name. And then, okay, so let's change those from income to outcome. Pagination 100 is fine. I'm gonna just delete those comments because we don't need to copy those comments every single time. We just wanna have a nice record here, but I'm gonna just delete those. And the rest seems to be okay, except for this. And then we have this. And now we have to change three things. One is we have to create a form for the outcome. Then we need to create an HTML forms and for listing and so on. And then we need to have a URL patterns fixed for outcomes. So let's start with the form maybe. Form, again, I'm gonna just copy this in here and paste it down below, add an outcome here, outcome, and I'll just paste this here and change the name. So again, very small changes. Outcome form, and then we have the model is outcome. We want to have a value, date. I think it was very similar. Let's go back to models and see if there are any changes there. So we have, yeah, so it's exactly the same. So we can leave it. We can get rid of all the comments that are just supposed to be our notes. That is just a note 2. We need to leave that date here and then change clean data. Okay, we don't need this because it doesn't do anything really. This doesn't do anything. Save doesn't do anything. Cool. So they were just our notes for the above. Let me see. So that's the income and that's outcome. One thing is, look at the size of that form. We just left this code here and those comments just to have a reminder what to do if we need to do anything around those elements, like is valid or clean. But really, we only need this for this form to work, okay? So it's pretty easy. Okay, cool. So forms are done. Then we need those HTML, so we need those HTMLs here. So we have outcome form. So I assume it's going to be very similar to what we have. So let's go to templates, my finances, and let's see the form here. The form really is exactly the same. So what if we used just like my finances income outcome form, let's call it. So let me just refactor this to rename. We do income outcome form and refactor, and yeah, do refactor. So basically what it did was it changed probably income outcome for those. So let me see here, create, where is the template? We're supposed to be able to see, okay, income outcome form. So we need to change this now because it's not as easy as just saying income create view. Now it's going to be income outcome form, and as you can see, PyCharm already changed that in my code. So whatever was called income form HTML, now it's income outcome form. Cool. And I need to change it for update, and I can see that's done already because I had to name it like this. So income create and income update are correct. Now I'm going to just copy this and go down to the outcome and look for my outcome form. So it's an income outcome form and create. So I assume, yeah, I need to copy this line here. Okay. And I need to add it to outcome create because I deleted the line that was doing this. Okay. And now we have it done. So the HTML for the creation is done. And I'm thinking now, do we want to do the same for all of them? I think we could, what we can do is, so let's have a look here. All we say here is we say incomes, and then we just have, you know, we take this object, which we call income here, but it really is, you know, very similar data that we get for income and outcome, and then we display it. So maybe instead of having two different templates for income and outcome, what if we want to have the income outcome form, income outcome list, income outcome detail, and income outcome confirm delete, so we don't copy our code, which I think is better. So let's do that. Let's change all of those to reflect that they are, and I'm using Shift and F6 for renaming, income outcome list and refactor, and whatever we have now, do refactor, and but we're going to have to change the views too. And Shift 6 income outcome detail, Shift F6 income outcome confirm delete. So let me just do refactor if you can, but I know I need to do my own changes here because, for example, this doesn't oops, this needs to be uncommented, so we have this this bit, and we need to use exactly the same for outcome list. Okay, so we need to paste it here. Okay, and then we take, okay, so that's the list view, and then we have detail view that needs to be uncommented and copied to outcome detail view model view, boom, done. And what else? We have create. So create we did already for the form. So let's go lower for the update. Update is done too. So then we have just the delete that we need to change. So let's uncomment this and copy this and take it to delete in here and paste it. Okay. Okay, so we have that done, but it's not ideal because we're looking at some income here. So whatever income actually we're using here, we can replace that with object. What do you think? Object. So let's replace them one by one because not all of them go. Like this doesn't go. That changes. Doesn't change. But we need to put some logic here. And to do that, I think we can add some, so we're looking at the list right now. Yes, we're looking at the list. So let's go to income list and let's go to context, extra context. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to add that extra context, and I'm going to just put it in here so it stays in the same kind of way as the rest of the fields. And I'm going to do this. Let's call it list what? And I'm gonna call it income. And then what you can do in here, we can change this to list what, and just add S in here. And actually I want to have it capitalized. I'll change that to income, so it's just easier for me to use it here. So we have incomes and then object and object list, that's fine. And then this needs to be changed too. So let's just add a if statement here. So list what is income, then do something. Let me just end this, end if, and also else. Okay, so we have income. Otherwise, we change that to, come on. So we have, if it's income, then we use this. Otherwise, go to outcome detail. And then we have the object, repetitive, blah, blah, blah. So the rest is fine. No incomes yet. We can change it something, change it to something that is kind of general. Nothing to show yet. Okay. And that kind of says like if it's incomes, then we have nothing to show in incomes, and the opposite. Okay. And it's the same for outcome. So in here, it seems to be very generic. So we don't have to add that information there that we are looking at income or outcome. In here we had to do it, but it was pretty easy. We just changed that to list what, then we have this if statement here, and also we add that list what in here. Pretty easy. So we have we changed the list, we changed the form. What about the detail? Okay, first of all, we don't want those. So let me just delete that. And then, okay, so I forgot about the detail. So again, income, we want to go to detail and do the same. So let me just copy extra context, sorry, and add that here. So we can delete this because we are using it, and not list what, but detail what. Even if you, okay, income and outcome detail here, and we are detailing outcome. Let's go to income outcome detail, change that to detail what. I want to change this to outcome too. So, oh, sorry, object. So because it's kind of general, it's either outcome or income. So replace. And these will stay because we want to put that as a, oh, there you go. That's what I was thinking. That we didn't do anything about those two views. If detail what is income, do this, and then let's do and if else. If you want to do elif detail what is outcome, is the same. It's kind of more explicit. But I know we're not using it for anything else than income and outcome, so it's either this or that. Okay. Outcome, and that should do it. So Option Command L just to make it nice. And so we change this, and this. Confirm, delete. Okay. So again, for in the views, we want to change. Let's go up. So create and update, the templates are not specific. They don't mention anything about income and outcome, which is great. We might want to do that actually just to make sure that we know where we are as we fill out the form. But let's see if we have to do it. For now, what I'm going to do is going to grab this from here and add it here. Okay, and change that to, so delete what, and I want to delete income in here. And let's go all the way down to here and add this, change this to outcome, and in delete, change this to delete what, are you sure you want to delete object? And cool. Okay, so we just had to change this. Okay, and then we need to change stuff in base.html. We have the list income and we have create income. So we can start with, so my finances app, my finances, update finances, and then we have this URL create. Okay, so what I want to do, let me just go down view finance. So that's the stuff I wanna copy. So I'm gonna copy it like this, just to keep Jinja next to Jinja and HTML next to HTML. So we have URL, my finances, income create. I'm gonna make the outcome create, and it doesn't exist yet, but we're gonna change it in a create it in a second. And finances outcome create. Okay, and then we can use this name in here, and then add outcome, and we're gonna do the same here. Let me just check if I changed both. Okay, I didn't change both. I want to change that too. Okay, and now we have 3 times. Okay, I'm just checking. And list outcome, and the last bit is URLs. And again, we're gonna just like copy and paste all of them. So copy and paste, and I can leave it that little gap here so we know that we're looking at outcome from now on. So I'm gonna just replace that. Sorry. Okay, and one by one, I'm gonna just replace. Oops, I should do this. So case sensitive. So I'm replacing those. And in here, we want to change the capital income and capital outcome. And from this point on, so replace. And we just need to capitalize it because I made a mistake. Outcome. Cool. So I think this is it. Let me just close all of those because it's pretty messy. Let's go back here, and probably we're gonna see some errors. No, not yet. So URLs work because it managed to render the, you know, where to go. And as you can see, yeah, we might want to put a header here saying add income add outcome, because for now they're exactly the same. And just, you know, we can check the URL, you can check on the left side where you are, but it would be nice, like in here you have incomes, and if you go to outcomes, you see the outcomes. Something went wrong. Let's go to list, views, and let's go, what happened here? Oh, okay. Aha, I don't have the extra context in here for some reason. I think I did that. So anyway, so list what outcome. Where did I did that? Anyway, so let's refresh and outcomes. Okay, so nothing to show. We have some incomes. I'm in the detail, and it's trying to show me list, although I'm in income detail. Let's go and see what's wrong with that. So we have list and we have the detail. We should be using the detail. Okay, so detail. And I probably want to change that for outcome. I made that same mistake there. Yes, no, that's the list. I want to change that for detail. Okay. Cool. So if I go to update, it's working. If I go to delete, it says confirm deleting income. So let's go to outcome. Let's add some outcome here and whatever. We have some outcome I can see. So we have our outcomes. Number 1, health, nice. And let's go and try to see it. So outcome 1, everything seems to be fine. And then boom, something's wrong. So page not found for the update. Outcome update 1. So let me see. Outcome update. Aha. Those little bugs, it always happens, but you know, cool. So we are in outcome, again, outcome, boom, update, cool. Cool, okay, so let me maybe add some headers, because we also use it for, we use it for 4 different things. One is, you know, create income, create outcome, edit income, and edit outcome. So let's add context saying that, okay, this is, you know, maybe just a header or something. So let's just take this and from the top, detail, no, here. So I'm gonna just add that here and say header is create income or add. Okay, and by the way, we can extra context, delete that. The same for update, so I'll just add that here, but update income and delete this. And then we have delete is fine. Then outcome list detail create, let's add that here. Header is add outcome, and in update we want to add update all of it, update outcome. Cool. So now we can see what's going on, where we are, what we do. If I refresh this, okay, I need to go to the form and use that somewhere. So let's do it the same way as we do it in here. So let's say h1 up above, so inside of the row. So we are inside of that row here, and I'll just add that here. Okay, and that's a header. Okay, and refresh. Oh, maybe it should be inside. Oh yeah, because it's here. Yeah. Oops. And let's refresh, and we have update outcome. Okay, cool. And if I add income, add outcome, if I want to update outcome, yep, and then update income, cool. Okay, now we know what's going on. Cool, way better. It's not very pretty, but it works. That's the main thing. And if you want to delete outcome, I managed to delete it and nothing to show. Awesome. So that's the first step for having both outcome and income connected to user. I know it takes a little bit of time, but we had to change a couple of things here and there. But at the end, we have it all done. So all we had to do was changing a couple of things in the views. So basically adding outcome views and add some context already useful. Then we had to create this form for outcome, which is teeny tiny. Obviously, we had to build the models for the in here we just added the user, and in URLs we had to add all those outcome views. And in templates, we basically changed the already existing templates to fit income and outcome, so we don't repeat ourselves. What we do is we just do a bit of if else, just to make sure that if it's income, then we go to income. If it's outcome, it's we go to outcome. But anyway, so that's the first step. The next time we're going to look at, working with the balance, and as we add stuff, we have the balance being changed. And then when it's all working, we can put some visualization and some tables for that as well. Cool. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.